see if this works. Hare Krishna.
Going to try to stick it on the TV.
Just for near.
I'll try this one out. So use it. Let's go.
I mean, one solution did it come up?
That's cool.
Jaya Gopi Jana
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And today we are going to be looking at Canto 10, Sambhavi, Krishna's pastimes, Chapter 71, the Lord travels to Indraprastha, verse 40. Shri Sivasur Guru Sritanam Krishna's Chakri Vivadanam Swayam Cha Krishnaya Rajam Bhaginya Chiva Vindita Pitri Sivasur Guru Sritanam Krishna's Chakre Bhavidanam Swayam Cha Krishna Rajam Bhaginya Chavina Pitnita Krishna Pitra, his fathers, Swasu, of the sister Kunti, Guru, of his elders, Srinam, and of the wives, Krishna, Lord Krishna, Chakra, performed, Abhivardhanam, offering of obeisances, Swayam, himself, Cha, and Krishnaya, by Krishna Draupadi, Rajan, O King, Brexit, Ahinya, by his sister Subhadra, Shah, also, Abhivandita, bow down to her. Lord Krishna bowed down to his aunt and the wives of his elders and the king, and then Draupadi and the Lord's sister bow down to him. Srila Prabhupada writes, Lord Krishna delightfully offered his respects and obeisances to Kunti and other elderly ladies of the palace. His younger sister, Subhadra, was also standing there with Draupadi, and both offered their respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Lord. So the verse is, Lord Krishna bowed down to his aunt and the wives of his elders, O king, and then Draupadi and the Lord's sisters bow down to him. So what I'll do is I'll go back over the stuff I was doing last week a little bit to help remember before we go into the verse. The Bhagavatam, as you know, is a snapshot of one day in the life of Brahma. That's what the Bhagavatam is. And this edition of the Bhagavatam, and there's different Bhagavatams in different parts of the universe, is about the first 7 Manus. So one day of Brahma has 14 Manvantras, 14 lives of Manu. Each life of Manu is 71 Mahayugas. Each Yuga is Kali Yuga, 432,000 years. Vapara Yuga, 864,000 years. Treta Yuga, which is about 1.3 million years. And then you have Satya Yuga, which is about 1.65 million years. That is one Yuga. 71 Yugas is the life of one Manu called Manvantara, and Brahma's day is 14 Manvantaras and 15 Satyas, nights of 15 lives of Manu, it's a night. And at the end of Brahma's life, which is 311 trillion years, everything is effectively destroyed. We are all going back into Mahavishnu, and Mahavishnu will breathe in and then he will breathe out. When he breathes out, everything happens again. From Mahavishnu comes Gorbhadaksaya Vishnu, and then the universes, and each universe is from the lotus stem, from the navel of Gorbhadaksaya Vishnu, Brahma appears. Brahma is very confused and lost. What am I doing here? Where am I? It's all dark. Because before creation there is no such thing as light. Brahma has been cursed with the material body, so he's born in darkness before knowledge is created. So where does all knowledge come from? It comes from the heart of Brahma, which is impregnated by Gorbhadaksaya Vishnu, which is impregnated by Mahavishnu, who is the plenary portion of Krishna. So nothing can be known or understood without Krishna's sanction, because Brahma cannot do it without Krishna's sanction. So we see the start of the Bhagavatam, and there is a very compelling verse. says on Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva Janmadi Asyo Nivyadi Taratas Katsesa Abhijana Swarat Hide Adi Kavaye Muyanti Abhijana Swarat Deva Brahma Hide Adi Kavaye Muyanta. So from the heart of Brahma, Krishna is imparting the knowledge of the Vedas. And the first prayer to Krishna in the Bhagavatam is a prayer of huge humility, because it's saying that even because of you, the great sages and the demigods, which only get their knowledge from you because it comes from Brahma, are put into ignorance and confused. And only through your power do they have any illumination. So what to say of us? If the demigods and the great sages of Brahma cannot understand left from right or right from wrong, and they are searching for the truth, so much more important it is for us to understand our position as conditioned souls, that we definitely need to depend on Krishna for everything that we know and understand. So the Bhagavatam is only created because of the confusion that occurs in Vedavyasa, who is the literary manifestation of the Lord. So, and it happens very unusually, because there's a very unusual person that he meets. And this person is unusual because they can do something that none of us can do. That's Narada. Narada is the only character in the Bhagavatam, apart from Krishna, who remembers the previous day of Brahma. He has got a special benediction to do that. So he starts off coming to Vyasa. Vyasa is very despondent, unhappy. He's just created the Veda, and he goes, I don't feel correct. My heart is almost in pain. I've created all these religious principles for people to sacrifice and get wealth and progress materially, and eventually reach liberation. But there is something missing from my heart. So Narada comes along and says, let me tell you my story. And through my story you'll understand what's missing in your heart. So Narada says, in my previous life, in the previous day of Brahma, I was basically, my mother and I were working for some sages. And through a great fortune of mine, my mother was bitten by a snake and she died. Now, when you read the Bhagavatam, you think, what is this? Why is he saying, what a great fortune, my mother died? But if we look at it carefully, he's talking about his life in the previous day of Brahma. So he doesn't have this attachment for the physical body and the relatives. Because he knows that previously he had one mother, before that he might have some other mother, before that there was some other mother. So he's talking about, I was so fortunate that that physical bondage that I was in, that illusion was gone because of a snake bite. And because of that, I was able to then worship these sages. So we are given the example of, you imagine a metro train in Tokyo, and the metro train goes from station to station to station. People come on the train, then they get off the train at the next station, then they come on the train, and you're watching this. These are all your relatives in every life. So every station is a new life. The relatives are coming on, meeting them for a few seconds, seeing them for a few seconds, next station they're going. Then another set of relatives and friends are coming. Then next station they're getting off, and so on and so on and so on. So the clarity of his detachment is very clear when he says, very fortunately, that bondage came to an end, my mother was killed by a snake. And then I got to really worship these sages, and they gave me the benediction that effectively I will remember this journey. And then he was reborn as the son of Brahma. So many times, like Krishna is doing here in the Bhagavatam, Narada is all knowledgeable. But whenever he meets Brahma, his father, and his father is confused, he still says, bows down, does all the courtesies and all the proper And then the father receives him as a father, and then Narada is teaching him everything. Also that happens. So Krishna here is making sure that the basic etiquette of dealing with elderly people, despite being the Supreme Lord, is there. Because if that basic etiquette was not there, then the idea of respect for the body and then what to say of respect for the soul would not exist. So Narada turns up to Vyasa and says, Vyasa, what have you done? You created a big problem. You've written all about if you do sacrifices and pious work, you get wealth and liberation. But you haven't written about the very purpose of the Vedas. And the very purpose of the Vedas is what happens once you get liberation. When you realize you're not the body and you don't want any bodily pleasure. What is the soul going to hunger for next? And you've forgotten the very reason the material world was created. The reason it was created is to reform the imprisoned souls here that have forgotten how to love the Lord, because they want to enjoy for themselves. So then Vyasa says, I need to write down the essence of all the Vedas, the ultimate purpose of knowledge, which is to love the Lord. And the two things that come out of the first canto, and this is important because sometimes in the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada gives us a very big secret that we have to listen out for. And it normally starts with the following words. Krishna likes, Krishna enjoys, Krishna wants you to do this. And if your sole purpose of your life is to please Krishna, you see that big Bhagavatam book, if you just focus on those words, what Krishna likes, then you go, if I do what he likes, then I'm going to be back and get out of here. So that is the focus of reading lots and lots of pages. Whenever that happens, you get a highlighter and you start highlighting that bit. Very important. And what Prabhupada is saying is, Krishna actually wants us all to go back to him. Right? So we just take that very simple point for a moment. Literally he writes, Krishna wants all of us to go back to Godhead. So unless we are waking up every day and going, Krishna wants me to go back to Godhead, so the purpose of my day is to go back to Godhead, we're not going to be very focused on what Krishna wants. And then Krishna is not going to be particularly happy with us. That's why Prabhupada is writing that. So in this transition of moving from the Vedas to writing the Bhagavatam, Vyasa has to refocus on what the Lord's actual wishes are for the living entities, the conditioned souls in the material world. And he needs to create a path by which they can return back to the Lord, because that is the Lord's wish. Otherwise, Brahma doesn't come along, and Brahma and Vyasa doesn't come along. Right? So, and the key focus point that Prabhupada says is, in order to do this, in order to go back to Godhead, you must develop an affinity for the pastimes of the Lord. Right? So, whenever you have a pause during your day, or you have a break, and you're not chanting, and you've got your Krishna book in the car with you, you take out the Krishna book, park up for 5 minutes, and you carry on reading the pastimes of Krishna. Because Prabhupada is saying Krishna wants you to go back to him, and this is what you should do to go back to him. So if you want to go back, you just do what Prabhupada says. If you're serious, you don't sort of go, well, then I'll do my own way of doing it. Because when you go back to, in the spiritual world, and Krishna wants to eat a cake, you're going to end up making some roti, or some other thing, like dal. Because I don't want you to eat the cake you want, Krishna. I want you to do what I want to make for you. Right? And that's not somebody in love with God. Someone in love with God wants to do what God wants them to do, not what they want them to do. Yeah? So our focus really is, where is Prabhupada giving us the information on what Krishna likes? And that I will photocopy and stick on my wall, highlight it. Krishna likes this, Krishna likes this, Krishna likes this, Krishna likes this. And this is going to be the focus of my day-to-day activities. The very last paragraph of Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, the penultimate sentence before the last sentence, he says this journey is ultimately about moving from being a pleasure taker to a pleasure giver, to realizing that we're not here to enjoy, but we're here to be enjoyed by the Lord. Right? So every second of our lives have to be lived so that Krishna is enjoying us, not that we're enjoying for ourselves. Okay? The whole Bhagavad Gita is crystallized in that penultimate paragraph. You can read it when you go home or straight after the class. Okay? We are to be enjoyed. That's a very difficult thing for us to understand because we are selfish. And that's why we ended up in the material body. We don't want to share our enjoyment with Krishna. Our conditioning tells us it's all about I, me, and mine. When George Harrison joined the Hare Krishna movement, the first song he wrote was a song called I, Me, and Mine, based on Prabhupada's teachings. You can hear it free on YouTube. And it sings, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, my kids, my this, my car, my house. No, so the language we teach, use in our heads, conditions us. Instead of saying, these are souls which have a body which is made up of Krishna's energies, and they happen to be my children, and therefore they must be used for Krishna, it's my kids, my car. No, it's Krishna's material energy. It's not your anything. You don't own anything. You're a thief, stealing Krishna's energy, and you're not even recognizing it. It's like you take your neighbor's car, you keep using it, and the neighbor goes, at least you could say it's my car. No. But that fool, it's my kids, my problem, my mortgage, my job, mine. What is this nonsense of mine? And we can see what's happening to the world because of this my business. This is Krishna's business, this is Krishna's body, and we are a fragmental part of the Lord, and the only reason we exist is to give the Lord pleasure. And when we do that, we will become happy. That's really the only thing we need to learn in bhakti, But then it gets all very, very, very complicated. So you can see that Vyasa then understood that all the Vedas were not going to get people to the real purpose of ending up in the material world. The material world is 25% of the Lord's existence. It's in the spiritual world as a black spot. 75% of the souls are in the spiritual world. And right now we are inside Krishna. And Krishna's has the super souls in everyone's heart watching. And what is he watching for? Ultimately, what is Krishna watching for? He's looking for the degree in which you want to enjoy separately from him. The degree to which you're detached from your own desire to have pleasure. When you're eating the cake, sometimes people are not thinking, does Krishna want this in his energy that I am possessing? No, I'll just take it for myself. Wow. Oh, forgot you, Krishna, I forgot all for you. At least there's recognition, but most people, conditioned souls, they have no understanding that what is being assessed is how selfish they're being with